With the audio recorder, you can record your voice, an instrument or any sound using your iPad's microphone or an external microphone. You can play back and enhance the recordings using different views and settings. This video will show you how you can use the audio recorder in Garageband for iPad. As usual, getting started means you have to go to the homepage of Garageband for iPad and cycle through either with the arrow keys or with a swipe of the finger until you reach audio recorder, pictured here on the screen. You'll see there are a couple of options here. You've got voice and you've got instruments. For this demonstration, I'm going to select voice. So we go into voice and you can see instantly that we've got a input here, which again you can kind of see is another kind of jack lead that we've got next to in. And you can see my levels are going up and down here and a little bit hot at the top. So we're just going to turn down the input a little bit more so that it doesn't quite peak too high, so that we get a good quality recording. Now I'm in a room that's fairly well soundproofed, so we should get quite good results, but I do not have a microphone plugged into the iPad, only the one I'm recording with now. Basically what you do is you've got a very simple view then. We're going to have a look at the studio view first. And the studio view is just to show you the different options here. Now you can change the kind of inputs that you've got here, so you've got different vocals. So if you're going to be singing or speaking, you can actually change the different vocal types. So depending on what kind of sound you would like, you can change that too. And we can show you how you can listen to that. So at the moment, we've got lead vocals. And as you can hear, I've got the monitor on. And if I cycle through, different sounds will sound different. Pop overdrive, so you've got different ones. But I'm going to stick with the lead for now. Switch off the monitor. We'll try and improve that sound as we go through this example. So each of those brought up different parameters down below for tone, pitch control, compression, and drive and vocal hall, which is basically like a reverb. So these are parameters you can have a little play around with. But next to the studio is the fun option, and this is quite nice. It says point your iPad towards the sound you want to record, then tap the record button above to begin. So this is a nice way to use your vocals but get different sort of effects. So we've got here kind of monster effects, robot effects, dreamy, bullhorn, telephone, extreme tuning. So if you want to sound like Cher, for example, chipmunk, and sci-fi. So if I put on monitor, let's see what monster would sound like. So I can use my voice, it'll sound lower. If I use robot, it'll sound more robotic, dreamy, bullhorn, telephone, extreme tuning, chipmunk, sci-fi, and standard. So you got different options. You can have a lot of fun with that with these voiceovers. But if you're wanting to do something a bit more serious, stick with studio, and then you can create something that's quite effective there as well. So on this is the mic channel, and again, depending, because this is vocals, we're expecting a microphone input. But if you can also plug in a microphone, again, you can have a USB microphone that's powered. Again, using an adapter into your iPad like the USB connection adapter, they will actually work really, really well. As long as that microphone is battery powered or has its own power, you'll find then the signal is really good. If it's just a plug-in one, you may find that the signal needs a bit of a boost with the input gain over on the left-hand side. So to record audio then, very simply, and like all the other recording features, you just tap record, and then in doing so, you'll get the thing that you need to do. So let's just cycle what we've got so far. So these were the drums that we did in previous videos, so I'm just going to go and improvise over the top. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nothing too fancy. Yeah. Oh yeah. That said, we can actually change these parameters. We'll just stop that and rewind, and then what we can do is we can go into some of the things here. So let's do a noise gate. And I think with having noise gate on, this hopefully should change the situation. Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's instantly improved that vocal. So it's a really good way to control, even in a very poor room, or even if you don't have the microphone handy, you can actually get some really nice effects. And that's completely got rid of any issues from that vocal. And we can then go and have a look at that vocal by going into the track view as we would normally do with any other touch instrument. And there it is there. Okay. And then like all the others, we can then tap the end, and then we can drag it to where we need to. We can also cut it, and it just sounds like this. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then we can bring in the other tracks as well. as and when we need to. But just from the previous and this one, actually sounds not too bad at all. So to go back in then, you click the microphone option and it takes you back into the environment where you were in before. Now because we're using a mono source, a microphone, there is only one single channel here, but if you were using a stereo source, it would be two channels, it would be left and right, so you'd be able to see that and you can toggle between whether you use 1 or 2, so you could actually change from input 1 and input 2 and change from mono to stereo. That would be quite nice as well. And if you're not sure about the gain control, then as I say, hitting automatic would be a really good thing for a beginner to be able to do, so that if someone was a bit quiet, if they were singing, if they were a bit nervous, then the automatic input level would adjust accordingly. So it's really, really useful to be able to do that. So that's a basic introduction to the very basics of using the audio recorder in Garageband for iPad. In the next video, I'll be showing you how you can play the strings in Garageband for iPad. So make sure you have a look at the audio recorder, have a lot of fun with it, and I'll see you in the next video.